Hey guys, for this activity, we're gonna need a piece of paper, a blank one if possible. If you're at home and you don't have something like an oil pastel, then you're gonna need a paper that's thin, just like a printer paper, okay? Just something blank that's thin, because you're gonna have to do this just a little bit differently. So I'm gonna show you two different ways to do this. The first way is with a thicker fold of paper. We're gonna fold this from the right side to the left, making it long ways, and then we're gonna open this back up. This lesson is really a good focus on symmetry, and symmetry is where both sides mirror each other for the most part. So what we're gonna be doing today is a Christmas card. So I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna be working with my right hand on the right side of the page. And if you're left-handed, I want you to do this on the left-hand side, okay? So I'm gonna use a ruler just to kind of get some lines straight. But we're gonna start out with the bumper of the car, and the bumper is down here at the bottom near the wheel. So I'm gonna go down, because I'm gonna actually be putting something up on top of that tree here in just a minute. So I want plenty of room for my car up above. So I'm gonna start with an oil pastel, and I'm gonna make a line that goes from that fold out, and it stops about 1 inch away. And then I'm gonna go down, oops, and across, and then together. Now, it's gonna be important that we get these lines pretty straight so that our card in a little bit doesn't look like it's folding, okay? It'll make sense in just a little bit. Now I'm gonna do a large U shape here, and that U shape is gonna be our tire. Okay, you can do some zigzags on this for the tire treads if you want. Okay. All right, now we're gonna work our way up the car. So above the tire, above the bumper, we're gonna do a blinker light, so just a small circle. And if you wanna do another circle around that circle, you can, so that it looks like it's enclosed in. There you go. And then we're gonna go a larger circle for the headlight, and then a circle around that if you choose. Okay, so there's our blinker and our headlight. Now we're gonna form the hood of the car. So we're gonna go just barely off the edge of the bumper and come up, and you can either make this really pointed or you can curve and then go straight, okay? So I gave it a little bit of a curved line here, but I do need to make sure that I go straight across. Okay. All right, so another option for this is to do a grill on the front of the car where that engine breathes. So I'm going to do half of an oval is really what we're doing, or a sideways U, and I'm gonna stop there. We are gonna end up putting lines across this, but we're gonna wait just a little bit, okay? So we're gonna make the top of the car here, and so I'm gonna come in just a little bit, pretty much over these lights, and I'm gonna go up and curve in. And then I'm gonna do a window that goes inside there. You can make your window stop where I just about created it, or you can make it go all the way down like a windshield. We're not gonna draw any details inside of there, so we're gonna be painting that in a minute, okay? All right, so, and you can also add a side mirror if you'd like. I just drew a little stem off the side of the car, and then that square, okay? Now, this next part is pretty cool. If you have an oil pastel that you just used, you're gonna be able to close this. If you've got some scissors or something that's got some metal on it, somewhere close around, you're going to just rub these over all the parts that we just drew. Rub it really, really good, because what we're wanting to do is to transfer those markings that we just made from one side of the paper to the other, which is going to create a symmetrical car. Okay, so now if you can see these enough, then you can just trace. All right, so now I'm at this point where I told you guys we were gonna add some details. But first, before I add this detail, since this is a Christmas car, I'm going to make a little circle that's right above, like right where the crease is between the top of the hood and the grill. And then I'm going to make a very small ellipse at the top of the left side. And then the same thing over on the right. This is going to be a ribbon. So then I'm going to make a line on the outside of that ellipse and the outside of the other one. And then I'm just going to make a curved line that connects these to each other. Okay? And then we can make some little ribbons that hang down. So I just did lines like an 11 and then did that little upside down V. Okay, and created a bow. Now what I'm going to do is add the lines for the grill. But since I did the bow, I want the bow to be like it's on top of the grill. So I'm going to skip the lines like we did on our hand that we created for op art. So I'm just skipping over those ribbons and making the lines go behind them. Okay. All right, so we're finished with our car, but now we got to put something on top. You can choose to do presents, a snowman, whatever you want to do. I'm going to show you guys how to do a Christmas tree. So I'm going to make an arrow. So I'm going to point my arrow left. You can do it whatever way you want. And then I'm going to stop right about the edge of the tree, the car. And then I'm going to make another little triangle here at the end. This is going to be the trunk, okay? So then I'm gonna just continue making these arrow marks, and they can even cross over onto the car, that's fine. All the way down to that tree stump. Then I'm going to create smaller branches that are coming off the tree in between here. Okay, so now you can choose to color in. If you are using oil pastels, you could choose to color in some of your other areas with some of your oil pastels, and do things like add some details like a star on top of your tree. Maybe you want to color in something like the lights. We're going to use watercolors, if you have those at home, to color this in after we're all done with these little marks that we're making. Okay, and I think this is pink, but more pink than red, that's okay. I'm going to put some ornaments on my tree. And then I'm going to show you guys some magic of how this works. Okay, so, oh, also we have a floating car here. So I'm going to go on and add our ground, okay? You could also make this, if you wanted to, like a 1-point perspective where we took the lines back and made a path on here. Or you could just do your horizontal lines where it looks like there's snow behind, okay? So like piles of snow here, maybe we do it like that, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna take my watercolors and my brush and my water. And I'm gonna dip in here and get this water on the brush. And I'm gonna have a red car, so I'm gonna dip into my red until it's a nice puddle. And then I'm going to paint. Now, if you watch, that paint is really, really good at staying inside of the lines. And that's because oil and water resist each other. So, it stays in its place and it won't actually cover up your lines. So here is my Christmas car, kind of sped through. It would be better if you guys could take time and let things dry between each step. So once I did that red car, I stop and maybe go get a snack or do another subject and then come back and start on the background or some of the details that are in the car. So this was the option if you have a thicker paper, watercolors, and with oil pastels, Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a different version of that here in just a second.